hopefully the first person will win, get it right, you'll get that £50 credit. And the lines actually open at 8:30 and go through till 9 o'clock. Now, let's talk about the book, because, Jules, 100 Lengths of the Pool, why?
Simple, really. I had a light bulb moment. It was my own personal fitness regime. I've always had an affinity with swimming since I was a young child, which is the reason for it is in the book. But I used to swim 100 lengths of the pool that I had in a house in Spain. And I was swimming up and down it, and I used to think about things to stop me getting bored and associate it with the different lengths and help me keep count as well. And then one day I was swimming up and down, and I thought, this might make quite an interesting book, or the little stories from my life. So it's not really an autobiography.
It's not chronological.
No, not at all.
Which is great, because it's a real book that you can use as a coffee table book, or if you're in the loo book. Just a little chapter here and there.
Thanks, Deb.
Use different lengths of chapters, very handy. But that actually means that it's easy to dip into and out of. What do you cover in it? Give us an idea.
Well, I don't, as I said, I don't start with my birth. I actually start chapter 1 is all about my number in numerology, and number 2 is the position I came in a story writing competition when I was 10. You know, I talk about my childhood when I was a baby, what happened to me at 14 months old. I mean, I tried to cover my professional life, my private life. It is, I don't know, I really like to cover everything up until now, present day.
And lots about the career, obviously, which has been very sparkling and very glittering, including lots of celebrities, as Barbara Windsor there in Panto. A little bit of a love story in here when you first met Chris.
If he's watching tonight, you are in such trouble, Niall. You really are, because he has kept so anonymous all through my time at QVC.
Well, you put him in the book.
Yes, I know I did, but I didn't know you were going to show that book on telly.
What, don't tell us any more then, because if he wants to be anonymous, you have to buy the book in order to get your insight into how the relationship happened. It's a lovely little love story. Now, when we launched it on air last week, in the Monday morning breakfast show, 700 copies went. I know 500 went before that as well. It's really, really popular, and Jules has signed every single one of them at the front. That must have been a labour of love.
It was a couple of days. I had a lovely time with Georgie. She might be watching tonight. They really looked after me at the distribution centre. So they looked after me. It was like a production line. They were passing the book to me. I was signing the book. I was passing it on to somebody else. And then it got put onto a trolley to go and be packed up. So every book comes individually packaged.
And it's literally signed. It's not a nameplate. It's signed in the book. Insights into Jules nearly having a singing career.
Nearly, Deb. I take issue with that. I'll have you know that. I'll have you know that. No,
I mean, it's so interesting in the early 80s what happened with the band. How close you got.
Yeah, very, very close. That's chapter. Now I'm testing myself. 45, I think. But of course, you and I did a QVC single, didn't we? And what was it? 1998. All the QVC presenters did that.
5th anniversary. Who has got one of those? Tweet us and let us know if you remember the locomotion. And obviously, you worked on The Price is Right with Leslie Crowther as well.
Yeah, I did. He was a lovely man, actually, and that was a great show to do. I'm still best friends with, in fact, there's a picture of her in the book, one of the girls that I worked with on The Price is Right. And there's a very funny story about a guy called William G. Stewart, whose name you may recognise from 15 to 1, who was the producer of The Price is Right, and it was amusing. So worth reading in the book, I think.
And there's loads of lovely little anecdotes in there. And honestly, Jules is not just telling you what happened. She's given an insight as to how she felt, even through some of the disappointments when, you know, in our career, it's up and down all over the place. Some amazing successes. What's been the best thing about writing it?
I think having to remember it all. It was funny because Simon Biaggi did say to me before we launched the book on Monday, he did say, I cannot believe the amount of detail that you have remembered everything with. And you know, I honestly can't take complete credit for that because, for example, the record deal, Chris helped me with that because I couldn't remember every single detail. So he was there to help me with the bits that I couldn't remember, which was fantastic. But I mean, there's quite a lot about my family in there. I mean, my most important job, I think, in my life has been being a mother, and with it being Mother's Day tomorrow. In fact, I don't know if you showed the picture, but I wanted to show it tonight if I can. Of myself with my mum. This was my mum and I when I was about 3 years old. And I just think it's a lovely picture of my mum and I when I was 3 years old. Yeah, but I do honestly think that's my most important job in life. I always wanted to be a mother. And chapter 27 is about the day that Daniel was born, and chapter 43, I think, is the number. That's the number.
I've got a good memory.
The number of pounds I put on when I was pregnant with Sophie.
I think mine was kilos.
And of course, you skipped over chapter 17,
Oh, yes.
which was about when you and I first met, because Debbie and I knew each other before QVC. We worked together
Well, it's your
at
fault
Cable.
I'm here. You told me about the auditions at the time.
Is it my fault?
It's your
here?
fault. It's
Okay.
absolutely your fault. We used to work at Cable 17, people who worked in, ready? Croydon, Merton, Sutton, Kingston.
Richmond. Yeah.
Okay. On local cable in the early days.
Yeah.
And of course, there's so many people looking at this thinking, well, what is there of QVC in here? What will I remember? It's Julia's first day. And Q's on the phone, by the way, now for this. And don't forget, it is P&P included. It is brand new this week. There's only a finite amount of stock ever going to be made. So if you want to get your hands on yours, it's $14.97, delivered direct to your door in 3 to 5 working days' time. If you've watched Jules all these years and remember that first day, but you nearly never even came along for an audition.
Well, I don't want to give